What's good, people? Thanks as always for passing by the channel, much appreciated. Hit that subscribe button if you guys are new. What a crazy day in the world of boxing. What a crazy day in the world of boxing. But it hasn't escaped my attention, even during this crazy day in the world of boxing, that one of my favorite fighters, GENNADY GOLOVKIN, is signed to fight Steve Rolls. Hasn't escaped my attention. GENNADY GOLOVKIN, if you thought this one was going to sneak under the radar because of all the bullshit that was going on with Jarrell Miller and Joshua, you are wrong, my friend. You have signed to fight Steve Rolls. That's embarrassing. It's embarrassing, it's unacceptable, it's disgraceful. I can't think of any other words right now, but all of the above combined. It's all of those words that I just mentioned combined. That's how pissed off I am that GENNADY GOLOVKIN, GENNADY Triple G, is fighting Steve Rolls. Don't know what to say. Don't know what to say. I said this in the video I did about Golovkin when I mentioned 3 possible opponents, Steve Rolls being one of them, that I had never heard of Steve Rolls before. And this isn't an anti-Steve Rolls video. Steve Rolls, fantastic. You know, on your journey, great. Good luck to you. You're unbeaten. Like a late bloomer in sense. What Steve Rolls is 34, 35. So good luck to you, right? You're going to get paid some good money. Happy for you. But this isn't about you. This is about GENNADY Golovkin. This is about so-called one of the best middleweights ever. This is about a guy that is at worst, the 3rd best middleweight in the world. I still think he is #1, but at worst, he's the 3rd best middleweight in the world, and he has just plucked you from thin air to fight on DAZN, where he's going to be getting paid upwards of $10 million. There's a few people to blame here. DAZN could be part of it as well. DAZN could be part of it. This crazy money that they're dishing out for fighters to fight relatively nobodies for stupid money might have to stop. It might have to stop, because fighters now are going to be realizing they don't have to take the big fights to get big bucks, right? They don't. This is proof of it. GGG's fighting Steve Rolls. Steve Rolls, for those of you that don't know, only had his first 10-rounder last year. He has been literally doing 6 and 8 rounders. Only had his first 10-rounder last year. One 10-rounder, by the way. Never had a 12-round fight in his life. Never. Never. And I don't mean a fight that's gone to 12 rounds. I mean a fight scheduled for 12. He's never been in a 12-round fight in his life. This is who GENNADY Golovkin's fighting next. How's that even, like, how's that even sanctioned? How's that even sanctioned? Is it because he's got one of those NABO middleweight titles? Like, how is this even allowed? Like, they're too far apart. Again, one is top 2, top 3 middleweight in the world. One is around 50, maybe 60. That shouldn't even be allowed. To me, that shouldn't even be allowed. That shouldn't even be sanctioned. They're far too far apart. And I'm not liking this with Golovkin at all. Remember back in May last year when Golovkin chose Vans for a fight, and there was a bit of uproar about it. I gave Golovkin a bit of a bligh because Canelo had just busted for something, and, you know, it's a case of he still wanted to fight. Vans was a name, even though Vans is really 154 pounds. Vans was a name, why not? He bullied Vans, stopped him, beat him up. But, I'll be honest with you, there's a lot of other top fighters that are asking for that fight. But, you know, the excuse was, well, you know, if I'm going to fight someone, I don't want to fight the elite guys. You know, I'm not ready for that. Let's pick someone. So he got Vans, right? You can't make that excuse this time. You can't make that excuse. He last fought in September. He's had plenty time to get someone else. Plenty. And he gives us Steve Rolls. Gives us Steve Rolls. People are saying, yeah, but, you know, oh, he's had 2 tough fights against Canelo. He kind of needs... No, he doesn't. You know, GGG's career has been relatively easy. Look, boxing's not easy at any level, but GGG's career, when you compare it to some of the fights other fighters have been in, hasn't been tough. I mean, he's had 2 tough fights against Canelo and a tough fight against Jacobs. Everyone else he's iced. Everyone else he's actually just put to the sword, right? I mean, he's not been in any other really physically tough fights. Brook was tough for a couple of rounds, right? Curtis Stevens for a couple of rounds, but everyone else is really just kind of iced and played with and just destroyed. It's not like he's a Gabriel Rosado where you think, you know what, fuck me, give that guy a break, right? Give him a break. He needs a break because every single fight is a war. That's not been Golovkin's career. So why should he, because he's been in tough fights against Canelo, all of a sudden decide, you know what, I need a break, I need a warm up. No, no, you're 37. You're 37 and you're playing around with Steve Rolls. And I like what Canelo's done. Canelo's like, well, I'm happy to fight him next. If obviously Canelo gets through Danny Jacobs, I need to do that video. But he needs to bring a world title to the table. Good. It's true, he does need to bring a world title to the table. Fight Demetrius Andrade. Andrade wanted this fight. Derevchenko wanted this fight. Others wanted this fight. Fight them. Don't think for a second that you fight Steve Rolls and then somehow you fight the winner of Jacobs Canelo. No fucking way. I would go mad if the DAZN give him that opportunity. No way. Demetrius Andrade, I'd rather him have that opportunity. Don't think you should get the opportunity again for fighting Steve Rolls. Do something more than that. Do something more than that. Your career has been a career of mid-tier, even lower than mid-tier fighters. But I've still supported Golovkin throughout. You know what? Because I think he's a great fighter. Will fight anyone. This doesn't prove that. This doesn't prove that. Of the 3 names that were listed, I can't remember the other guy's name. The contender winner and Andam and Steve Rolls. This is the worst opponent. This is the worst possible opponent. And he's chosen him. He's chosen him. Golovkin's had his paydays. Right? This isn't a case of, you know what? I don't want to take a risk because I need a couple more. You've had your paydays. Kell Brook was a payday. 2 Canelo fights were a payday. He must have got at least $70 million for both of those fights. Do something. Show us something. Fight someone in the top 15, top 20. You bring out a Canadian that no one has ever heard of. Right? I don't care if you're Spencer Fearon, Max Kellerman or Paulie Malignaggi. Every motherfucker would have gone onto BoxRec as soon as this name was mentioned. It's just not good enough at all. It's not good enough. I blame GGG. I blame DAZN. DAZN are culprits in this because, again, they're giving out silly checks for stupid fights. And I'm happy for Steve Rolls. I'm happy for Steve Rolls because I'm happy for a fighter to get a check. But this is some bullshit. This is some fucking bullshit. You don't do this at 37. You do this if you're coming off... You know, you do this if... And I still don't think you do this, but, you know, if you're coming off a bad knockout loss or injury or surgery or whatever... You know, new trainer, all these things you can kind of say, you know what, give him a warm-up one just to get used to it, just to get it going again. He's not. He's not coming off a bad knockout loss. He's not coming off injury. He's had a nice layoff. He's had a nice, good layoff since September. Still the same trainer, Abel Sanchez. What's the excuse? What's the fucking excuse? There is no excuse. This is embarrassing, right? Again, I'm a massive GGG fan, but I'm off the fucking train. I'm off the train. I might come back on later, but for now, I'm off the train because there are far too many good middleweights that would have wanted that fight. Far too many. GGG isn't the boogeyman anymore where people get the phone call and they're scared to take it. Far too many middleweights would have called for that. And it goes to Steve Rolls, who again has had one 10-round fight and the rest have been 8 and 6s. Never had a 12-round fight in his life. Peace.